Reviews. My name is Owen DeBrinca, and today we are going to review the next blockbuster of 2021, and that is Mortal Kombat! Yes, we are going to review Mortal Kombat today. This movie is directed by Simon McGarrett, and this is the third movie adaptation of Mortal Kombat, and of course this movie is based on a popular video game franchise, Mortal Kombat. MMA fighter Cole Young prepares to stand with Earth's greatest champions to take on the enemies from the outworld in high-stakes battle for the universe. I honestly am not a fan of video game-based movies. There are some I liked, like for example Tomb Raider and last year's Sonic the Hedgehog. I really enjoyed that movie. But when it comes to video game-based movies, they're just very unnecessary. But I'm literally going to agree that the 90s Mortal Kombat movie is one of the best. And probably the only best video game-based movie ever made. It's fun, it's entertaining, it's exciting, but it's also bad at the exact same time. But I still enjoyed the movie for all it is. And of course with Alien vs. Predator, this is the only best Paul W.S. Anderson film that's ever made. And don't get me started on Mortal Kombat Annihilation.
Mother! You're alive! Too bad you will die.
We remember how atrocious that piece of shit was. But I am a fan of the Mortal Kombat games. You know, I grew up with the Mortal Kombat universe. I enjoyed playing the games in the arcade when I was very, very young. And of course, I love Mortal Kombat X. I need to get Mortal Kombat 11. I'm still thinking of getting that game after I saw this movie. But Mortal Kombat X is still one of my favorite Mortal Kombat games. That game was just a blast to play. So when it comes to this new Mortal Kombat movie, I'm honestly very, very interested. And I shouldn't be, because it's a video game based movie, but there's something about making a new Mortal Kombat movie kept my interest, in my opinion. This is an R-rated movie with violence and brutality, and usually when it comes to like blockbusters like this, I always try and see these movies first, like in advanced screening. So I did watch the advanced screening for Mortal Kombat. Now, here are my overall thoughts on this new Mortal Kombat movie. Is this movie fantastic? Is this movie great? Absolutely not. But, did I enjoy this Mortal Kombat movie? Absolutely. I had a total blast with Mortal Kombat. Honestly, this is a pretty good year so far with movies. There's not a movie that I really hate. Like, Tom and Jerry is definitely the worst movie of the year, but it has some positives. There's not a single movie that I really hate this year so far. Mortal Kombat, I had fun with this movie. Now, let's talk about the characters of this movie, because that's the thing that I was kind of skeptical about. Let's talk about the new character in the film, Cole Young. Now, this is a character that's not in the game, so this is a brand new character that's in the film, and I don't know the actor's name, so I'm just going to say by their characters. Cole Young, I find him interesting, and if you're fans of the Mortal Kombat games, you'll probably hate his character thinking, oh, he's not in the games, he's unnecessary to be in this movie. I slowly find his character quite interesting throughout the film. At first I'm like, okay, he's just one of those characters that's just in this mess. But when you watch him throughout, I find his character really interesting, and I'm very interested to see where his character goes throughout this franchise, because this is planned to be a 4-movie franchise, and after this movie, I would love to see a franchise for this film. But there are 3 standouts with this movie. One of them is Kano. They got the character of Kano right, and he's my favorite character in this entire movie. He's one of those characters that you just love to hate, because he's an asshole in this film, but at the same time, he was hilarious. Every single moment he is on screen, I just cracked up laughing really, really hard. And they got his character right, because in the games, he is Australian, and obviously this is by an Australian actor that really precious his performance. He did such a great job in this film, and Kano kicks ass in this film. He's one of my favorite characters in this movie. Sub-Zero. This character was probably my most anticipated character for this movie, and it succeeded. This character was a complete menacing villain. Whenever you see Sub-Zero on screen, he kind of scares me, I'm not gonna lie, because of how threatening this villain is and how the movie sets him up in the film. And the character Sub-Zero, really badass villain. He is so badass in this film. And of course, Scorpion. This is the character I'm honestly really excited for this film. And yes, this character Scorpion has enough to desire. From the opening scene of this movie, which is not really a spoiler because you've seen it, that opening scene is the perfect way to introduce Scorpion's character, but at the same time introduce the whole vibe of this movie. And Scorpion was really well developed in the film. When you see Scorpion in that outfit, as you see him try to find Sub-Zero, It brings out one of my favorite fight scenes in this entire freaking movie. And speaking of the fight scenes, let's talk about what we've all been waiting for. The violence. Is this movie deserved to be an R-rated movie? Absolutely. This movie was brutal. There's a lot of bloody action scenes in this movie. But I think what's great about the action in this movie is that it doesn't drag on. This movie has a lot of blood, has a lot of really brutal fatalities in the film, but they take easy with it. It's violent for sure, it's full on this movie, but they don't overdo it, and that's what I really appreciate by this film. But the action scenes, the choreography, the whole look of the action scenes look really good in the film. And compared to the 90s film, this film goes for this really shaky cam-ish jump cuts. But in my opinion, it works because as long as we see what is going on, I'm fine how the film is edited. Yes, there are times where it does go too jump cut-ish, but as long as we see what is going on throughout most of the action scenes. There is one particular scene that we don't know what's going on, but that's just one little scene. But the rest of the action was fantastic. It was brutal, it was bloody. It's exactly what I wanted, and it's exactly why I came to this movie. I want to see some blood, I want to see some fatalities, and this movie brought me that. But is Mortal Kombat a perfect movie? Absolutely not. This is one of those movies that you have to turn your brain off and just have fun with it. If I took this film seriously, I would say the acting in this film was all around just okay. From Kano from Sub-Zero and Scorpion, my favorite characters in the film, the rest of the characters, they're mostly one-dimensional. Even though I do find Cole Young an interesting character, I think the actor who played him wasn't as interested, or to me in any ways. His acting wasn't that great. Even Sonya Blade, I find her acting kind of bland as well. Like, some of the acting in this film wasn't really well developed. And also some of the story elements in the film, they really try to rush it in a lot throughout this film. And if you're waiting to see the tournament in this film, you're not going to get that, because this is more of a setup movie to this franchise, setting up the characters, setting up the fight scenes, what they're going to look like. And after this film, I would love to see a franchise, and I feel like they just can't end this film off like this if this film like fails or something, because I feel like this movie is all about the setup, it's all about the anticipation, and it worked for me. But there are elements in the story, in my opinion, that kind of just didn't need to be there, in my personal opinion. But guys, this is one of those movies that you just have to turn your brain off and just have fun with it. I was fairly entertained by Mortal Kombat throughout the entire film. I think this is a really fun film. This film has some great fight scenes, good violence. The characters were mostly very well, even though the acting at times does feel very, very generic. Overall, I think Mortal Kombat is definitely a film that we deserve. It's a film that I think everyone will have fun with, especially for Mortal Kombat fans. It's not a perfect movie. It could have been much better than it actually is, but it's a video game-based movie. We wish we could get a great video game-based movie, but right now, this is what video game-based movies should be right now. Just fun, entertaining, and exciting. So guys, I did enjoy this movie. I think, yeah, I would say it's better than the 95 movie. I think the 95 movie just goes way too far into the cheese. This movie kind of gave me exactly what I wanted for a Mortal Kombat reboot, and I think this film really, really delivers that. I'm going to give Mortal Kombat a B-. So guys, that is my review for Mortal Kombat. Let me know what you think of this movie in the comments below. Do you like the movie, hate the movie, or you thought it's okay? Just let me know in the comments below. Make sure you guys follow me on social media links down below, Facebook, Stardust, Instagram, Twitter. Keep contacting with me, and make sure you guys subscribe to my channel, notified for my latest movie reviews, and
Fatality.
And have a nice day.